And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Of course, I am the general. I am a little late. It is a holiday, so cut me a break. I know I just popped on at 7 o'clock randomly, but I do what I want when I want. You all know that about me. Um, anyway, we're here with special first time guest on the show, Zach Noble. It's the Rusha Noble show that
Nope.
you're on, right?
Noble and Rouge, same thing.
Noble and Roosh. So, yeah,
Yeah,
same thing. I was
just
close.
flows a little better, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, happy to be here. It was best game of the playoffs right before your season ended. That was a blast.
Oh,
Just lightning in a bottle there. And finally, I mean, yesterday I said we got like 1.5 good games out of the four. I was ecstatic being a diehard Timberwolves fan. I was getting wild in a bar and having a good old time. But yeah, that was our first game one win since 2004, and only the second game one we've ever won in our history
wow. That's
as the
actually, I didn't even
Timberwolves.
know it was like that much.
Yeah, it's
I
it's
mean,
a
I mean, good for the Timberwolves, dude. I'm not a Timberwolves guy. Obviously, I'm
no,
not a
no,
Minnesota fan. I
not many
have I
people
have
are.
no I have no like vested interest in them. Good for them. And
Yeah,
like everyone who was, I saw you tweeting about it, man. Everyone who was making fun of Timberwolves fans for how they celebrated getting into the playoffs, you're not a sports fan, dude.
right.
You're not a sports fan if you don't get that. Like seriously, straight up, you're not a real fan.
Let
It
people enjoy the moments. Everybody's got different expectations, and we decided to root for a really shitty franchise. Let us embrace a couple moments here and there. Your moments are different. I mean, I get the expectations in Boston, and that's cool. Hopefully, one day we can be on that level, but we're not. So let us do our thing.
yeah, no, and you know what? I'm not even like I'm a Boston fan. I'm not even like that. We do have those expectations. I think you've seen how the media treats us with how they wanted to split up Tatum and Brown earlier this year with the
Bullshit.
with the
Yeah.
first year head coach. But I mean, good for the Wolves, good for the fans. Celebrate it. I I'm happy for you. I love seeing stuff like that in sports. It's what it's all about to me.
I agree. No, I want
Um,
everybody to be successful outside the Packers. That's really the only team I hate in sports.
yeah, I feel the same way. I want everyone to be successful except like the Lakers, the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins,
The Yankees.
yeah, the Yankees. I could probably let's stop me before I keep coming up with teams I don't want to be successful.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, that was a great game. Anthony Edwards looks fantastic. Obviously, to me, Carl Anthony Towns was the big difference in that game last night for you guys.
Once,
It didn't look like they had an answer for him because he was bullying Steven Adams early on in the game. They switched Jaron Jackson Jr. onto him, and he didn't seem to have an answer for him.
no, he's not big enough. And when Cat's got the confidence and he's being smart with his movement and not just way loose and wonky and just flailing everywhere and picking up ticky tack fouls as he does, which he did it a little bit in that game. But he had 3 terrible turnovers early in the game. And then once he kind of said he's not Nikola Jokic anymore, that's kind of my thing with him. He tries these over the
I
head
saw you
passes
tweet
like
that.
once or twice a game. And it never works out. Like Jokic is one of one for a reason. Cat can be one of one when he just sticks to what he does best, and
Yeah,
that's being
plays his
arguably the
game.
greatest big man shooter of all time. And he'll say that, but like, don't do stuff you're not able to do. It's the simplicity of the game, and that's why the Celtics are thriving. Everybody knows their role there, and everybody fits so perfectly, and that's why the Timberwolves are a 7 seed. We have talent, we do, but we don't fit. The fit is terrible in Minnesota, but our talent's shining through right now, and that's what's special. I mean, Cat's dunk last
Yeah,
night on Adams was the exclamation point and really what set us free. I think towards the end of the game.
yeah.
But
Wait,
yeah,
the spin move before it, that dunk,
yeah,
that was
flying.
awesome. Yeah, once I saw that, I was like, Minnesota's winning this fucking game.
Sure,
That's,
that was
and
that was
if
the
if Cat's
stamp.
playing like that, Minnesota's got a shot at the series. If it's not all Edwards and Cats playing like that, Minnesota's got a shot at that series. That Celtics game, yeah, absolutely insane.
Were you there?
I can't. What do you say?
Were you there?
No, I was not. I tried. That's buying tickets online on the resale was going to be a little too pricey, so I tried a few of my my avenues, and well, I didn't luck out for this game.
I lived out there from end of 2015 to 2018, and that's why we named my first son. His name's Boston. Love it out there, but
nice.
Went to multiple playoff games every year, and that's why Tatum, Brown, I mean, more so Isaiah Thomas, those guys all hit home for me. But yeah, I had some special moments out there for sure.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that about you. But yeah, I mean, the Garden crowd was awesome today. That was a good Garden crowd. They were in Kyrie's head. He doesn't want to admit it, but they were and they weren't, because I mean, Kyrie played fucking lights out that fourth quarter. I thought we were blowing it. That I don't like how that started offensively.
It was scary for a little bit for you guys.
It was scary. Yeah, I thought we were going back to like our old thing, but that Brown, Tatum, Smart, they didn't look like they were about to let themselves lose that game.
No doubt. I don't think they went away from the way they were playing and moving and sharing the ball like they have been. And I think the lid was just on the hoop for a little bit, and then they buckled down and just said, we're taking this. It was getting away from them for a little bit there, but the way they continued to play defense on KD the entire game was special. Like, I just tweeted out it was his worst game he's had since 2017 in the playoffs. And you can make an argument even further back than that, which is crazy, that it was his worst game. They only lost by 1 point, but that's how good Kyrie was. He was getting downhill.
I mean, Kyrie was phenomenal. I hate the guy. He was absolutely phenomenal in that fourth quarter. Special talent.
You could say him and Claxton were really the only Nets that played pretty dang good all game.
Yeah, Claxton played a good game. I did not like the officiating.
That's the first. I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say
it was like overly officiated to me.
yeah, I'll give you that. I'd say,
and then you don't call a stoppage when Brown's bleeding from his face on the court, and the Celtics are down a guy. You don't call a stoppage,
right?
But like the rest of the game, you call everything.
But how did he get a foul on that one? I mean, Kyrie looked like he was reaching over the top on that and smacked him in the face before, like, simultaneously. I thought he got around him fine, but maybe.
Yeah, I'm not saying a foul, but a stoppage in play. There's a guy bleeding on the court. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mike Breen saying, "Oh, that's nothing." I thought that was kind of bullshit, because it's like, come on, dude, the guy's bleeding. Like, I'm not saying it's a foul, but a guy's bleeding. Don't call it nothing.
For sure.
You got whacked in the face hard enough that he's bleeding, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that game, what a finish. That, and Marcus Smart.
The poise.
Right there. The stepping forward, looking for a next shot. Nope, I got a better shot down low. That's probably the defensive player of the year.
I thought Brown could have taken that shot too, honestly.
I thought Brown could have taken it too. I love them, that the patience by the entire team looking for the best shot. And I mean, Tatum was just a layup. That was a great move. Yeah. That was fucking beautiful.
Were you too worried coming into the game?
I wasn't too worried. I think we're taking this series. It was the beginning of that fourth quarter that I really started to get a little nervous, just because I've seen them do that before. That was their thing the past few years. That's been their thing, blowing leads.
Yep.
That's part of why this is like so satisfying to me, because this was really the Celtics, like, almost like shedding that of them. Like they were blowing that game.
Right.
They were about to blow a 15-point lead, and then like we said, they just weren't having it.
That third quarter was too good not to win that game. That would have been a brutal loss.
Yeah, absolutely. For a while in that third quarter, I thought they were about to run the Nets off the court.
Right. They had him. They had him on the ropes for sure.
And if Rob Williams happens to come back at any time in the series, which I know is a long shot, but they're saying it's actually a possibility. I don't think these games are as close. I think Rob Williams would make enough of a difference down there.
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie being able to, frickin' Bruce Brown said it in the press, and they held his quote on the board during the game. That was so legendary. That was one of the best troll jobs I've seen.
That was savage by the Garden right there.
You thought they'd step up a little bigger down there, but yeah, I mean, he got to the rim like no other, very easy, and so Bruce Brown was pretty accurate about that one. I'll give him that for now, but I think they'll lock up. I think Udoka will learn how to make adjustments. I've realized to just trust this guy throughout the year, and I mean, it's his first playoff run, so I'm not going to judge him too much, but Boston's just going to have to rely on their talent, and hopefully the experienced assistant coaches have a good voice and can step up. But you can't judge a rookie coach much in their first playoffs. I mean, it's so hard to adjust in the playoffs, especially against a team like the Nets. But yeah, Rob Williams would be the guy that shut down Kyrie for sure.
Just Rob Williams' presence down there would have made a difference. And it's not any knock on Horford and Tice. I love both those guys. I mean, just Rob Williams was a great player.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic player. This is the best season he's had in his career, I think. And almost like you said with Cat, it was Rob kind of just settled into his role of this is what I'm good at.
Right.
And that's what the whole team did. Really, they all just bought into this is what I'm good at. This is what I can do. And Grant Williams, who you had on with you, that dude right there is bought into completely.
He's
everything.
The definition of a role man. Like the guy.
Yeah, he is like the quintessential role player. I don't know if there's ever been anyone who fits it. Like how many guys can fit it?
His versatility and his shooting is just incredibly valuable in today's game, and he literally is one of few players that just fit in every team and every lineup perfectly. So yeah, I mean, he's automatically going to just raise everybody's game around him, just his IQ.
Yeah. So the rest of the first round going on right now, we got the Bucks and the Bulls. Has it made any difference since I had the score off now?
It's out of control.
The Bucks off by 11. Yeah, the Bucks could sweep this.
I'll be shocked if they don't, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, at 5 at the most. If they don't, I'd almost be a little worried if I'm a Milwaukee fan.
Right.
Earlier today, we had the Heat and the Hawks. Now that I really thought would be a better game, especially after the Hawks' second half performance the other night.
Right. And Trae Young he's only been in one playoffs, but I mean, this year's play-in, he played out of his mind again, but he's never really failed. He probably had, I don't know, I think he played roughly 20 games last year. He probably played 2 or 3 bad ones, and that's incredible for anybody in any playoffs. It was just a really, really special run he had last year, so everybody's believing in him. I still believe in him, but he just had his worst game of his playoff career, which, like I shared this earlier, I do not care. I mean, everybody's prone, especially young players in their second playoffs as an 8 seed with everybody been banged up around him. He's got the right to throw up some duds here and there. He's already been good enough in the playoffs to say screw the haters, but you only get a couple of those. You only get a couple of those before they start coming for your neck.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I was a little cocky before that series because I'm not that high on the Heat, but they shut me up pretty quickly that game by their defense and just how ready they were. But I mean, their ceiling's still in question because nobody outside. They won that game off Duncan Robinson. He's not going to do that every game.
I can't figure that team out.
Right.
They can beat you anyway, like any schizo night. To me. Yeah. They look like they could beat any team on any night. And then other times I'm like, dude, they could lose to anybody.
Yeah. No, like I was confident as hell with Hawks plus 8.5 in that one, and that was not even close.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat beat the Hawks in this series, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks win at all because it's the Heat. Like I said, I can't figure them out.
Right.
I don't think every game's going to go like that.
It won't. There's no way Trey's going to throw up 8 points every game. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, that's
Duncan Robinson shooting 100% from the field, dropping 30. No way, man.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's happening every night.
It's such an anomaly. I mean, yeah, it was literally Danilo Gallinari was the best player, and he shot probably 30% from the field. The team shot 38 and 27%. Well, the Heat shot 50% from 3. Yeah, that's just don't happen like that. So it was a much bigger blowout than the final score at 26 was too. I mean, it felt like 40 or 50.
Yeah, it was ugly. I stopped watching. I couldn't get entertained by it.
No. It's these first round games, man. They can get bad at times, and they will.
Yeah, like I mean, so last night Raptors 76ers that felt like more than a 20-point loss.
Right.
That looks like a 4-game series. The Raptors are now down 4 starters. I just saw.
What is Barnes officially out?
I believe he might be.
It looked bad. I haven't seen a ruling on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. But I mean,
wow.
That didn't look like it. Yeah, they weren't winning that series. If they don't have Barnes, that's going to be a beatdown. Philly's still probably not getting past the second round because it's the Philadelphia 76ers. They can do all they want. They can sign and trade for whoever they want. It's the Philadelphia 76ers.
See, I'm higher on them than most. If Harden just does what he did last game, he was really good. And Maxey isn't going to be that guy every game. You can't expect him to. Maxey was the best player on both teams by miles. He basically did what Duncan Robinson did, but times 2. And so it could get closer if the Raptors come out a little tighter. But yeah, I got that series now. If no Scotty Barnes and no Gary Trent Jr., that should be 5 pretty easily.
5 at the most.
Then they match up against the Heat. I think very well. I'm not too worried about them against the Heat, but that should be a grueling 6-7 game series.
Yeah, that will be a tough series. So the Jazz and the Mavericks yesterday. Now it looks like Luka's not going to play game 2.
Okay.
The Mavericks only lose by 6 points without him.
It'll be 10 plus next game.
Yeah. Without Luka, this team can't go far. Good for them for hanging in. You think the Jazz are taking this series? Because they're probably going to go.
Luka.
And if they don't sweep this team without Luka,
they're so screwed. So screwed.
Yeah, so you might want to be a little worried about that. No. The Jazz I'm not that high on that team. I don't know. I never really have been. I think Gobert is a little overrated myself. I think he's a great ball player. Best defensive player in the league. No.
I lean that he's a tad overrated, but I also probably am still higher on him than most. But it's tough. So I just me personally, without thinking about other people, in the game of basketball, I think he's a bit overrated because of his impact. But from other people's opinion, I'm definitely higher on him than most. Therefore, he's probably a little underrated. But he looked good. I was very pleased with Gobert.
He did play. He played a very good game. Like I said, he is a very good player.
It's just
I don't think
their
he's
chemistry is what's in question for me. It's their shot making ability outside of Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, Boyan, is he? How far can he carry a team as the second best scorer? You know,
Yep.
they're going to need other guys outside of him, and it's just it doesn't look that promising. Like I don't know how many Mike Conley even 20-point games we can get out of that. There's no Joe Ingles there anymore to go off, and Jordan Clarkson hasn't been doing shit.
Yeah, and I like Mike Conley, but you're right. How many just 20-point games are you gonna get? You most of the time you're gonna be close to 12 to 15 points.
Right.
At the most.
Just a very low ceiling there.
Yeah. And that I like him as a player. It's just he's not a go get 20, 25 points a game guy. Nuggets and the Warriors. I don't think this series is going far. Nikola Jokic is the MVP to me.
I agree. Yeah,
he's 100% the MVP, and you can see it. The Nuggets out there, Jokic is still not that great on defense.
He's a positive now. He's definitely gotten better. I mean,
yeah, he's gotten better. He's still not great. He can be
no sieve.
He can be taken advantage of on defense by the right guys. But that team, I don't think they have enough around him to make runs. As great of a player as he is.
I mean, that's part of why he's not the MVP. But yeah,
exactly.
I will argue this till the day I die. This is like one of the most valuable players, I mean, that we've seen to get this squad to where they are. I mean, literally, this team is arguably, if you take the best player off every team in the league, this could be the worst supporting cast in the league. And I kid you not. Like, I stand firm on that. Like, you take Shea off OKC, they might have a better supporting cast than Denver. Like,
yeah.
I tell my Philly friends all the time, get the F out of here with thinking Tyrese Maxey isn't 10 times better than Aaron Gordon. Like, Aaron Gordon's
so much better.
It's insane. But yet they talk about how good their players are, but they'll never – they always just like to go talk about how good those other guys are as well when they're not. And it's just like, how can this guy be so good? Not getting into that MVP, but
he's definitely the MVP. I haven't tracked the awards on that. I've been tracking the votes on on Defensive Player of the Year. Marcus Smart's
my guy.
Dude, he appears to be winning in the votes.
Pretty incredible, man.
I've got so according to the awards tracker on Twitter, he's got 13 first place votes right now. Which Gobert's got like 5 or 6.
Fuck yeah.
So that's almost a wrap if that's true.
I think people just got sick of Gobert. I mean, you can easily make an argument with the numbers, but like just watching Marcus Smart, man. I mean, I've felt this way about Smart for the last few years. Like I don't understand why it's taking till now to understand this about Marcus Smart. You know why it's taken this long is because the team's numbers are there, sure, but like, if you look at his individual defensive numbers, they've been tremendous. And I mean, the eye test is like so glaring with him, and it's been there. And it's not like the Celtics defensive have been that bad the last few years. I mean,
they really haven't. They've been pretty dominant for the last half of that year.
I mean, they were top 15 last year. I mean, so middle of the pack, but then they were top 3. You could argue number 1 the year before. Then 2018, they were top 5 again. I mean, just last year was the only year. They've
always been a good defense.
Right. Like, they've been you can argue they've been number 1 3 out of the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. It does drive me crazy it's taking this long for Smart to get the attention. I do think part of it was when the Celtics had their season turnaround and people the media was forced to start talking about when they started talking about the defense. It wasn't just Celtics players, but first it was Celtics players first started being like, "Oh, it's because of Marcus."
Right.
Like Rob Williams and Tatum were like making that a point to like say that, and I love that about the team. But you have guys like Draymond Green coming out and being like, "Nah, you got to start looking at what Marcus Smart does for this team and like what he means." I do think a lot of it has been like, players starting to talk about it, then the people who actually get to vote on these things being like, oh, let me actually start paying attention to this.
For sure. No, that's definitely the case, and which is garbage. I mean, because Marcus Smart didn't just start playing good when the team started playing good. It was the
Talking about
offense
him.
more.
Yeah.
It was the offense more than anything. Like the defense at the beginning of the year was fine. I don't think it was any worse than a top 10 defense. I guarantee you it was probably top 10, top 15 minimum, which defensive players of the year can win when your team is that bad. Like guys get voted all the time, all defensive team as even a top 20 defense.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think he deserves the award. He's been fantastic. And for all the Celtics fans that wanted to trade him and that hated his contract, I believe it was 4 years, $77 million for a guy who was probably about to win Defensive Player of the Year. And look at the way he just played offensively.
That's a bargain compared to Gobert.
That is a fantastic contract.
Right.
That's an amazing contract to me.
Yeah, I think so it was even less than that. No, you're right. You're right. I was looking at the past numbers. His last extension was 4 for 52. So if you want to just look at it that way, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, 4 for 77 is great. I mean, if the guy actually,
any way you cut it, that's a bargain deal in my estimation.
Yeah, for what you're getting out of this guy, that's a fantastic contract. It's another great draft pick by Danny Ainge, who nobody ever wants to give the credit to.
Yep, one of the most underrated dudes. He only won one title with.
Yeah, well, one thing that annoys me right now with Celtics fans now. Stevens credit for assembling this roster. And you know what? Yeah, Brad Stevens did a good job this year. Danny Ainge drafted most of those guys.
Right.
Ainge drafted Tatum. Ainge drafted Brown. Ainge drafted Smart. He drafted Grant Williams. He drafted Rob Williams. He drafted Pritchard.
He had one of the greatest trades of all time, trading back to get Tatum.
Yes. Are you winning that game without those players? Nope.
I mean, you're not even doing it. You're a lottery team.
Yeah, exactly.
That is your entire team. No, it'd be Horford and the ghost of Gordon Hayward. And
I mean, yeah, look.
I was just on the Celtics lab, and they won.
Kyrie thing it didn't work out. At the time, you had to do it.
Right. Oh, I agree. And I'll still say, I mean, even if you had to do it, it's okay. You might have lost it. And the only reason why you lost it is because of Colin Sexton, and because he's still there.
Yeah.
Didn't play this year. So there's a good chance he could be on the way out too. And then so it's back to zero on that trade.
It was and you had to make it. And I mean, look, what if Hayward doesn't blow his knee out in his first 3 to 5 minutes?
Right.
Playing for the Celtics. What maybe they actually do something. Anyway, we're way off topic. Let's talk about tonight. So we got Pelicans and the Suns. The Suns are taking the series. I don't think you're going to argue with me on that.
Worst series bar none.
Yeah, this isn't. I'm probably not staying up for that.
I will. I'm an idiot like that, but As soon as it gets past 15, I'll probably shut her off.
Yeah, I'll catch the. I'll probably catch the highlights of that one. But maybe I'll watch a little bit of the beginning if I'm still awake. I'm not. I'm not expecting much there. The Suns are winning that series. Do you got the Suns going all the way again?
I have the Suns versus the Bucks. Yeah, I've had
Suns
that for
versus Bucks.
a very long time. I do think there's more contenders in the East. I think there's 4 or 5 teams that can win it. Celtics being one of them, but I only think there's 2 teams in the West. I think it's Suns and the Warriors.
Yeah, the Celtics I think can win it. I think the Celtics need a little luck.
Yeah, no, and they also need Robert Williams. I think.
They
I think they can win without him, but
100% they need Robert Williams.
It gets a lot easier with him.
Well, yeah, because you just the defensive presence again. No disrespect to Tice,
right?
But he's not Rob Williams down low, and even offensively. One of the things that people don't mention about Rob Williams, because you get sick talking about his defense, his rebounding, and his blocks. His passing.
Yeah,
is great. He is a great distributor of the ball.
No, he's a quick decision maker for sure. And I mean,
yeah, he catches it and releases it very, very quickly down there.
People always focus on
helping the Nets on defense today, probably.
Yeah.
That yes, people always look at assists. Finish that. I think I kind of know
bullshit.
Where you're going.
It's bullshit. It's just quick decision making is just as important. And I mean, he's a hockey assist guy. The pass that leads to the pass for sure. But like, it's incredible how quickly that's why he works even with Horford or even with another big man. And dribble handoff game is fine. His screen game's great. But no, I just love his quick decision-making skills, and he's shooting all-time percentages. Like, people talk about Mitchell Robinson. Like, Mitchell Robinson's what everybody dreamed. Robert Williams is what everybody dreams Mitchell Robinson to be. And his percentages actually matter in most important moments and throughout the entire game, not just bullshit blowouts for the Knicks.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing that, like, I can say that I think we missed offensively today was that lob pass to Rob from from Jalen. He's got the connection with Brown, Tatum, and Smart. Just that over the top lob dunk that he does. He's great at it. I know it's a very simple play, but that's a play in their arsenal.
Right.
A lot of teams can do it, but it's something that the Celtics do. They do it very well, and you don't have that same. They don't have that same connection with Tice.
It's crucial for when Smart's been running the show most of the time at the point guard spot, and that's Robert makes him so much better there because Smart doesn't have all the passes in his bag. I mean, nor does he need to the way this team's setting up and the way Tatum's playmaking now. I mean, today was incredible.
Tatum is
like that's where he finishes off his game. That's all he has left to reach that upper echelon tier 1 player in this league. Yes, he's knocking on that door like no other. I'm not a person that anoints players too quickly, and I've always been as high on Tatum as I feel anyone besides Celtics fans that aren't that intelligent or Tatum is gonna be there, and I know he will be, but he's not there yet. And it's the playmaking, it's the passing part that really all he needs. Like, I've been on the Tatum as an all defensive guy for 3 years now. Like, I believe in his defense that much. I literally would put him on the team every time and be okay with that. And I think he's just as valuable of a wing defender as most. It's just he doesn't get all the love there, but.
He doesn't get enough love for his defense. You talked about the defense that they played on Durant today, and Jason Tatum was on Durant a lot of the game. I do think Tatum's taking that step to a superstar. I do.
Oh, he's a superstar. Yes, you can call him that word that you. But okay.
That pissed me off in the broadcast today. Oh yeah, no, KD and Giannis are above him. It pissed me off in the broadcast today. They were like, if he's not a superstar already, I'm like, hey, you're not going to tell me he's not
No.
already a superstar. It was in the same sentence that they said he's probably going to get some vote. He's probably going to get some like MVP votes, like finishing the voting. like okay, so wait, so he's going to get MVP votes, but he may not already be a superstar. What are we?
I
I
will
hate
push
ESPN
back on that.
broadcast.
I will push back on MVP votes equating to
He's
superstardom.
he's not the MVP. He's not.
No, but I'm
He's
okay
not.
if he finishes even third or fourth. I am. I don't have him third, but like I'm okay if he finishes fourth. I really am. I think he's
Yeah,
been that good. And like for instance, I mean Isaiah Thomas finished fifth and deservedly so. He could have easily finished higher than that. He
okay.
could have finished third or so. That doesn't make him a
Yeah,
superstar.
and yeah, okay, that's fair. That's a fair point. That's a good argument. All right, I'll take that. You shut me up there. um, so, Celtics Nets. Where do you see that series going?
So before I said Celtics in 7, I'm still saying it's 6 or 7. I'm still on the Celtics, but man, that game said more for me for the Nets, to be honest.
Yes,
It did.
it
It
didn't.
definitely.
I was at 6. Now I'm leaning more towards 7.
Okay.
I'm not going to swap from 6 off one game though. I'm not going to be that Celtics fan.
So I'd say before this game, I would say the percentages, like I had Celtics winning like 60-40, 55-45. Like it was that close for me. And now it definitely got closer than that.
Yeah. I mean,
I just
I can see that.
I'm a guy that just believes in offense so much more than defense. And until you like, if they put KD in the bag they did today, this is literally the Dallas Mavericks versus the Miami Heat. Like that finals versus LeBron. Like it's one of those superstars that you'll be an asterisk on your resume for forever. And it could be. I mean, they had the formula today. I mean, it starts with one game, but I'm not guaranteeing that by any means.
Do you got your Wolves moving on?
Oh, sorry, you were frozen for a little bit there.
Oh, sorry. Timberwolves and Grizzlies to wrap us off. You think your Timberwolves are moving on?
I still say Grizzlies in 7. I had Grizzlies in 6 before. I'm going to stick with Grizzlies in 7, but I pushed it out a game. It got tighter there. I need to see us win 2 games before I'm going to anoint us. I mean, games happen all the time, man. One game, like not in Minnesota, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, again, I mean, no reason not to be happy if you're a Minnesota fan.
For sure. I mean, it was just Ja Morant's first game back, okay? He played great, yes, but him getting anointed with the team, getting their ball movement in check, and I believe in Taylor Jenkins' adjustments a heck of a lot more than us right now. I'm going to just game by game, baby. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, and I'll give the Wolves another game for now. I'm going to creep it on back.
Yeah, so I was actually I basically, as much as I think he's a bit of a clown,
who's this?
Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
I agree with something I heard him say last night. If the Grizzlies are what everyone thinks they are and what they appear to be out of the regular season, they should win this series in 5 games.
But I don't believe they are what everybody says they are. I never was on that.
Well, I wasn't too sold that they were. I hadn't watched a lot of Memphis I can
tell you I've watched 85% minimum of their games. I loved watching them this year.
Yeah, I wasn't that sold that they were what everyone thought they were and what they appeared to be and all that. But I agree with Stephen A. Smith. If they are what everyone thought they were, then they should. Right from this, after that first game, I don't think the Grizzlies are what people were making them out to be.
I
I
hope you're
don't.
right, man.
I, I,
We're just better than everybody thought because
yeah.
I mean people
And
thought we're kind of a
like I
joke. I
said,
mean,
if
could be
if
more
Cat can
us.
do
Give us
that,
the credit.
if Cat can do that consistently in this series, Memphis has a serious problem on their hands. Because I mean, especially with how he played in the play-in game, I don't think people were expecting him to play like that. And if he can beat up on Adams and Jackson like that
He's had
consistently
good
throughout the
success
series,
against them, and those two guys, I just don't think they're made to necessarily stop them. I mean, together, I mean, in sync, but like to double Cat every time, that means somebody's getting open.
yeah, and I don't think Memphis has an answer for Edwards either. That's my thing. From the looks of that game, it doesn't look like they really have an answer.
Yeah, from
You
that one for
you
sure.
can say offense all you want, but you know, at a
I
certain
believe in
point
Bane
to
and Melton
win a
though.
series, you got to be able to stop guys.
Yeah, Bane and Melton are good though. They're intelligent.
They are. They do have a good. I'm not knocking the Grizzlies at all. The Grizzlies are a good team. I'd say probably 6 or 7 games they win this in, but I think Minnesota actually has a chance now.
Love to hear
From
it. Appreciate
from
that.
what I saw, they could make this a hell of a series. The Celtics, Nets, and Grizzlies, Wolves. I think off the bat from these first games going to be the 2 best series of the first
Easily,
round.
yep, easily. I think every other series will probably end pretty quickly unless Trae Young goes ballistic again. That's or Luka comes back. I mean, Luka can make that one a really good one.
He could, but I think going down 2-0, like even if he comes back
right
down game 3, are they in Dallas or in Utah right now?
They are in Dallas. Yep, they're in Dallas.
They're in Dallas. So even if he comes back and they got to go on the road to Utah for those next few games, and they're already down 2-0, that he could make an interesting series. He'll make it better games, but I think that series will already be too far gone.
For sure, I'm with that.
But yeah, that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget this episode was brought to you by creationsnacks.com. Use code BCMG.com. Just use code BCMG.com for 20% off. They got some great stuff over there. Get some popcorn, watch the rest of the games. First time guest on here. I don't think it will be his last appearance. Zach Noble, why don't you tell everyone they can find you, buddy?
Awesome. Appreciate you having me, Steve. Good times. Zach Noble, ZAKNOBLE. That's my Twitter handle. You can catch me all over Ball is Life. We've had 65 plus current NBA players on, 180 guests. We've been going for about 4 years now on Ball is Life. So Noble and Roosh Show. Appreciate any support there. And Roosh is ROOSH. So check us out and get at me on Twitter.
I like that you went and did the spelling there.
No, it's everybody fucks it up. So I got it.
But yeah, anyway, great having you on, buddy. I should be back at the regular time next week for everybody. But we'll see how that goes. I forget when I have things to do sometimes, like what happened this week. Completely forgot there was a holiday.
Life gets you. Thanks, Steve. Catch you later.
Yep. Thanks for having you on, buddy.